How can a fifth of the world's oil supply be sitting in jeopardy this morning, trapped behind a narrow strip of water most people couldn't find on a map, while the stock market barely blinks? Because that is exactly what's happening right now. Overnight, reports came out that Iran had cut off its back channel talks with Washington and was weighing shutting the Strait of Hormuz completely. Oil shot up as much as 8% at one point. That's a real old fashioned oil shock, the kind that used to set the whole market into a tailspin. And the part of the market whose entire job is to be afraid, the fear gauge this morning sat there calm as a mill pond. Both of those things are true at the same time. A fifth of the world's oil is in question, and the market shrugged. How can the loudest possible headline produce almost no fear? That is the number one question of the whole show today. And the answer is the single most useful thing you can learn about reading market conditions. Hello, I'm Ken Carpenter, and this is Invest AI Savvy, where AI powers smart investing. Welcome to Tuesday, June 2nd, 2026. Now, here's what we're looking at this morning. Straight up oil and Hormuz. Let's get into it, starting with the big picture with mighty aircraft carriers, supersonic fighter jets, and kamikaze dolphins. The Strait of Hormuz, that sneaky narrow channel at the mouth of the Persian Gulf, and on a normal day, something close to a fifth of all the oil in the world happily passes through it. But since late February, it's been a war zone, and traffic through it has been stopped or threatened by Iran. We've been living with that fact for months. Overnight, it got louder. The report said Iran has suspended its talks with the United States and was considering closing the strait entirely. Oil jumped hard. American crude pushing back above $92 a barrel after spiking as much as 8% earlier in the session. Now, quick housekeeping while we're here, because I'm legally trying to be a responsible adult. This show is for education only. It's not investment advice. Failed as a financial advisor, so please do your own homework and talk to a licensed professional before you invest any real money, even close to the Strait of Hormuz. Now, take a look at what the market actually did with that scary headline overnight. Oil came back down off of its highs after the White House said Israel and Hezbollah had agreed to stop attacking each other and that talks with Iran were still alive. Stock futures this morning are only modestly lower, pointing to a slightly softer open. And the fear gauge, the VIX, the thing that spikes when investors are genuinely scared, is sitting down around 16. That is calm, ordinary, nothing to see here numbers. So here's the puzzle again. The biggest oil choke point in the world is back in the headlines, and the broad market just shrugs. Why? Well, three reasons, and they all come back to one idea. First, this isn't really new information. The market has been staring at the Strait of Hormuz since February. When a risk has been sitting in plain sight for 3 months, a fresh headline about it is loud, but it's not really new, and the markets move on new, not on loud. Second, the fear that does exist is concentrated where it belongs. It shows up in oil pricing. It shows up in energy stocks. It's not bleeding into the whole economy, so the broad market stays calm while crude oil does the screaming. And third, the market heard a second message overnight, the one about the talks staying alive, and it chose to weigh that against the scary one. Now, here are the names the BuzzPulse system identified last night. Last night, the single loudest thing in the entire system was a small cap ticker spelled PURR. Social attention on it exploded up to a level the system almost never sees. The stock was up double digits overnight. And when the system went looking for a reason, a product, an earnings report, a filing, an actual piece of news, here is what it found. And I want you to read this word for word because it matters. There was no context, no identifiable catalyst, no fundamental anchor. Now, second is a company called Ondas Holdings, ticker ONDS. ONDS builds autonomous drones, the systems that shoot down enemy drones and private wireless networks for rail lines, energy infrastructure, and defense customers. Serious, unglamorous work for serious customers. Now, PURR was loud with nothing behind it. Here's the thing about Ondas. It is also loud. This is not some hidden little secret nobody just noticed. The stock is up close to 50% in just the last week. It is sitting near its highest level in a year, and the chatter is everywhere. More than 8 out of every 10 posts about it are positive, and the number of people talking about it just hit a high we haven't seen in a year. By almost any measure, Ondas is one of the loudest names on the whole board right now. So why does the system trust this one when being loud is the exact same thing that got PURR thrown out? Well, here's the difference, and it's a good lesson for the show. PURR was loud with no discoverable reason. ONDS is loud with a reason. Underneath the noise, there is an actual story, new defense partnerships, fresh funding for the drone business, record results, and the company raising its own forecast. The crowd is excited, and for once, the crowd is excited about something real. That's convergence. The social attention, the money flowing in, and the company's own numbers all pointing the same direction at the same time, instead of one empty post echoing around a room. So on a morning where the entire world is suddenly focused on oil and defense, the name BuzzPulse pushed to the top, blind to every headline, is a company that builds military drones and the gear that blows up hostile drones. Think about what that means. The system is not predicting the war, it's detecting that real money is already moving into exactly the corner of the market the news is about. But loud cuts both ways, so I owe you the other side. A stock already up 50% in a week near its highs, with nearly everybody cheering, is a stock where a lot of the easy money may already be behind it. There are real worries buried in that bullish chatter too about the company printing new shares and watering down what you own, and about how crowded the anti-drone business is getting. And frankly, the system's track record on this kind of setup is a little bit better than a coin flip. Nowhere near a sure thing, and it loses plenty. That shouldn't be a secret. BuzzPulse locked Ondas overnight at Monday's closing price, and the clock on that call is now running. You can check it every day on my dashboard. Link is listed below in the video description. To tell you the truth, today the watch list is pretty thin. Nothing else made it through the system's quality gate clean this cycle. Ondas is the one name with a real convergence story to tell, and everything else is either noise or it just needs more time to develop. Some mornings the system hands you a menu. This morning it handed you a question mark and a warning. That's exactly why every call the system makes, win or lose, sits on the live dashboard at buzzpulse.h9ksystems.com/dashboard. Link is in the description. Nothing is hidden because a record with the losses cut out is not a record, it's a sales pitch. Take a look at the dashboard and we find out together. Now, imagine you're trying to figure out whether a restaurant is any good. One stranger online raves about it. That's nothing, but if 10 different people who don't know each other, who each walked in for a different reason on different nights, and every single one of them comes out saying the same thing, something is happening there. This place is the real deal. That is convergence, and it only counts if those 10 people are actually independent. If all 10 are just repeating one viral post they saw, that's not 10 opinions. That's one opinion in an echo chamber shouted 10 times. That's exactly what separated our two names this morning. PURR was one voice in a room with great acoustics, loud, thin, and hollow. Ondas was many independent voices quietly all arriving at the same place from different directions. And it's this same type of test the broad market just ran on the oil headline. Is this many new things telling me something real? Or is it one old fear shouted louder. Two things to keep on your radar before you go. The OPEC oil ministers are all meeting online on June 7th. And after a night like this one, how they respond to a tighter, more dangerous supply picture can move the entire energy complex fast and in either direction. And the Hormuz situation itself is the live wire under the whole market. As long as crossing that strait is in question, every headline out of the region is going to tug on the price of oil, and oil tugs on everything else. So here's the one thing to carry forward today. Loud is not the same as real. The crowd and the headline will always tell you how loud something is. The reason why tells you whether it actually means anything. You need both, and most people only listen to the first one with high volume. I'm Ken Carpenter. This is Invest AI Savvy, and that's the way it is.